everybody, you're also welcome to the channel of Eclectic Chiesa. If this is not your first time of being here, then I thank you so much for coming back. Truly, this girl right here, she appreciates all the love that she has been getting. However, if this is your first time of being here, then I so wholeheartedly welcome you. Yes, I actually urge you to stick around because it's always a lot of fun over here, I promise. My name is Vanessa Dancer Raja Chewa, and today I've sort of made it my business, or let's just say I've sort of put it on myself to get you more acquainted with Adinkra symbols through the means of an Anansi story. So if you like this type of video, just comment in the comments below. Let me know what your thoughts are, let me know what you're thinking. You can like this video, you can share it, you can give it a thumbs up and show some love. And until then, just enjoy it. I'll see you in a bit. Bye.
This is the story of Ananse and his new wife. However, before we get to the story, allow me to give you just a little bit of a background information of the infamous Adinkra symbols, since the story I'm about to tell you will be filled with those. Now, Adinkra symbols are visual symbols. They were originally created by the Akan of Ghana and the Djaman of Côte d'Ivoire in West Africa, and they represent certain concepts, original thoughts you could say. They can also be used to communicate some messages that represent parts of their life or those around them. Adinkra are used on fabrics, walls, and pottery, wood carvings, and logos. And because they are so timeless, they are still used today. So we are traveling back to the past to pick up some wisdom. Now off to the story. Once upon a time, Anansi decided to tie the knot, and so he got married to his new beautiful wife. But that did not mean that he was a changed man. He never changes his attitude. And as we all know, marriage does not change people, not even him. His marriage was definitely not a democratic one. You see, Anansi was still the very same conniving and trickerish being that he has always been, thinking he has the world's wisdom at the palm of his hand, and mortal just like everybody else. Now, even though at the end of all the stories, he usually gets caught or outsmarted somehow by God's grace, we have to give him credit though for his extreme dose of resilience, right? So anyways, because he thought he was so smart and brave, one day, as the head of the household, and therefore also leader of the house, Kweku Anansi decided to prepare his case proper, with all the hypotheses he could find and all the arguments he could possibly think of, and found a lot of courage and boldness, gathered all that up, and went to see the Almighty God to complain that his wife was nothing more than an extra mouth to feed. Hey, Anansi. So tolerance and patience surely went missing when you said your wedding vows, now Abi? Okay, moving on. And so he boldly also complained that she was eating his share of the food at home. God the Almighty asked Anansi, so what would you like me to do about this problem? And then Anansi answered, God, please, oh please, give me a wife with no mouth upon her face. Now Anansi, I should tell you, is not known to be a jealous person, but rather very greedy. God looked upon Anansi with amusement, as Anansi never failed to surprise God with his strange reasoning and outlandish plans, and lack of humility, but enormous strength. So God shook his head and he thought, Anansi, you're supposed to take care of one another, not harm each other. Oh, Anansi, you're supposed to be helping each other. How soon you forgot your vows. And then God said, okay, said the wise Almighty God, come in the morning, and I shall give you a new wife with no mouth upon her face. Anansi could not believe what he had just heard. Wait, did God just agree to him? Did God just understand him? Wait, did he just grant my ridiculous wish? Anansi was so excited that he went straight to the farm to pick up some vegetables and to the supermarket to buy some yams and plantains for the next day. Finally, thought the greedy man, all of the food that I will buy will be for me alone to eat. Waking up to a beautiful sunny morning, Anansi saw his new wife in the kitchen being all nurturing and kind, preparing his breakfast. The wife turned and acknowledged her husband with a silent nod, then continued with her breakfast preparations before the stove. Anansi could not believe that he was lucky enough to have a new, modified and adapted wife. One who would cook only for him and eat nothing herself. And he could not believe that he had gotten away with asking for such a wife from God. So Anansi became very arrogant with time. Several days passed and things seemed to be going very well. Food seemed to be in abundance since he was the only one eating, until Anansi went to check on the food supplies in the kitchen. The greedy man was very surprised to discover that most of his food had disappeared. He was the one that buys the food, so he knows exactly how much food there should be left. Anansi knew that he could eat a great deal of food. But had he really eaten 4 bags of rice, 6 boxes of yams, and 3 plantains in such a short time? That seems a bit odd. He was very puzzled because he was supposed to be the only one eating the food, especially when he persevered so hard to request for a new wife who didn't even have a mouth to eat with in the first place. And so Anansi decided to find out and became very watchful. Over the next few weeks, he kept a very close eye on the kitchen and made it his duty to check thoroughly. But no matter how closely he looked, he couldn't find anything unusual at all. His wife seemed very loyal to him and cooked him a meal every day, only for him. Marriage seemed to be great, perfect unity. Anansi just did not understand why he still had to buy twice as much food each week. Where was it all going? Anansi knew that he liked to eat his wife's cooking, but even he could not finish so much food in such a short time, could he? Whatever is going on, by God's grace, it shall be well. One night, Anansi woke up to drink some water as he was very thirsty. It was then that he heard a rumbling noise in the house and quickly went to check on his wife to be supportive and a protective husband as he's supposed to be. But when he entered her room, he discovered that she was not in her bed. So then he took the initiative to creep towards the kitchen and peek through the open door. Anansi could not believe his eyes as he stood still in the kitchen doorway. There, sitting on a stool at the table, was his new wife, and she was eating a big bowl of food. Oh, here thinking that she was genuine, he watched in amazement as she scooped up the boiled rice and yams, lifted up her right arm, and put the food into a mouth that was hidden in her armpit. She has endured so much already. Woman gotta eat too. Anansi was very shocked to see such a thing and had lost all hope in humanity altogether. He thought to himself, so this is where all my food has been going. My wife has a secret mouth in her armpit, and she has been stealing food during the night. He was completely flabbergasted and thought, wow, what a skill, but also, what a mean trick. Here I thought I was having a misfortune, but my wife tricked me. Chai! The next morning, Anansi was so angry and bravely took his wife straight back to God and demanded to know why she had a mouth hidden in her armpit. Because after all, Anansi is the king of the house. So why should he settle for this nonsense? And as a man of the house, he should at least have a wife who meets his liking, so he can guard her well. And God answered, you asked and insisted for a wife with no mouth upon her face. And so I gave you a wife with a mouth under her arm. You did not ask for a wife with no mouth at all. I can't and I will not let my child die as long as I am present. Your wife is my child too, and I need to protect her as I do all my children on earth. Anansi felt so humiliated and tricked and instantly wished for reconciliation. But God had no sympathy for the greedy man. God said to him, you had a good marriage and a devoting and loving wife, Anansi. But because of your greed and selfishness and your no democracy policy in your household, you thought you would be clever and demand a new wife from me. I am showing you that I am much wiser than you are. And I hope you have learned a lesson here. Greed, selfishness, and jealousy have absolutely no place in life. And surely, independence in marriage is also a big no-no. Anansi did not think life could take such a turn and change, and felt so ashamed by his greed and begged God to return his old wife to him because he had indeed learned a valuable lesson. Because yet again, his so-called intelligence was misplaced. From that day on, Anansi was determined to be a better man by creating a house and a home that would be a safe haven and to be truly a good husband, but also a good friend to his wife, and not to be so selfish as usual, to give his wife love, safety, and security. And who knows, perhaps he would even try to let justice reign in this house for a change and do the right thing and be more generous with his food. Ananse and his wife found love for one another again, and henceforth they let love and harmony reign in their household, and they lived happily ever after.
Seems as though we have reached the end of this video. I hope you liked it, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned quite a bit. This video actually comes with an article I wrote about all the Adinkra symbols, their history, and all the other symbols that I wasn't able to implement in this video. Otherwise it would have been just too long of a video. So you can just click on the link below and it will direct you straight to it. Until then, just take care of yourselves, be kind to one another, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.